All right, welcome back. This is the Millennial Project. If you're joining us for the first time, today we're going to be talking about production of computers in America. The Millennial Project is something that naturally grew. And this is the equivalent of the Manhattan Project, but for technology, not for weapons. This is the equivalent of the VLSI project in Japan. That is actually an electronics project that used public investments, which are long-term, steady investments, not short-term, profit-motivated investments, to kind of like expand and compete with the Americans who were just doing technology in the free market. So basically what happened was these countries in the East, they understood that the only way they could compete with American corporations on technology was to kind of shore up things with the public sector and, develop. So they did it, and now they're the best in the world. So we have to learn, right? We have to learn the lessons in technology manufacturing and production that, like, the public sector needs to be involved. This is too important. This isn't some other sector that's not important. This is national security. This is on the level of energy. So we need this in America. This is an idea of how to get us there. So the Millennial One computer we're going to talk about, made in America. But go back and watch those earlier videos about Millennial City, about the Millennial Technical Institute. I've created a whole curriculum that spans the entire tech industry. The Freedom Cities are a network of different types of tech manufacturing cities that all work together like a huge factory, and they're all tied together through a high-speed freight line. So if Millennial City and the Institute are the tree that we want to grow, we need to find a seed. That seed is going to be what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be able to plant this seed, help it grow, and then move it to a different plot of land. The Millennial Project is a national initiative to expand high-tech manufacturing in the U.S. by developing Millennial City, a hub for automation, precision manufacturing, right? Technical Institute, supply chain. DreamCloud now is the company that would be doing all this. And I'm thinking about making it just a nonprofit so that all of these other companies can kind of invest in it, and the public can invest in it, and the government can invest in it, and not worry about this company later turning into a for-profit thing like the OpenAI debacle that's happening right now. So, Millennial One could be a private company that makes the computer, but DreamCloud is this kind of infrastructure company. So DreamCloud, this is the Millennial One, the desktop computer. Now, this is a simple idea. We need to reshore American tech manufacturing, right? But in order to do that, we can't just force American companies to produce domestically, right? We have to come up with a new product which is designed to manufacture electronic parts in America, in the US, eventually, right? That's the goal, the long-term goal of this project. It's not to be the best computer. It's to be an American-made computer, and to help other companies develop the infrastructure to be able to, create foundries, to be able to create fabrication labs and, automated factories and special parts. And we'll get into it. But this computer right here, it's going to have a screen. You can leave it clear. You can color it. Maybe it'll have an LED panel so it lights up. So this will be a fun computer, and it'll be kind of customizable, but it'll be just very basic, and it'll be made from parts that are already on the market right now. So this will kind of be like a custom gaming PC type build, but we'll be using much more basic computer parts for like a home or office use. So that's the idea, is that long term, this thing becomes completely 100% American made. And when it is 100% American made, then we will know that we have brought back technological manufacturing supply chain to America. So that's the goal, right? Computer components, computer assembly, existing systems. So there's already all of these great computer manufacturers out there. So we're going to use over-the-counter computer components, right? And you've seen these guys on online building PCs. Most of them are gaming PCs. And that could be a great way for us to get into the market, create a custom shell and put our product online and have gamers find it and buy it, and we'll assemble it by hand and we'll ship it to them. And that'll kind of maybe like start the process. Maybe we can partner with electronics retailer to kind of get our product in their stores. Maybe a gaming company. So like, there's all these ways, obviously this is going to be made with, I'm thinking Intel chips, because Intel also makes a motherboard. So that's already like a huge amount of this project completed, is like an Intel processor and an Intel motherboard. And then we just slap a couple more parts on there. But, with the goal of this thing being 100% manufactured in America. So automated production. I think that this is where we should invest more of our kind of like R&D, right? So we've got all these different parts and we can put them all together. Maybe we should focus on creating an automated production line that puts these parts together, making it very efficient. So then that reduces our costs. So maybe if we can't reduce cost on actual parts because we're going to be buying them. I mean, obviously we're going to be buying them in bulk. So we'll get a discount. We're going to be saving on labor. And this thing will be, produced in an automated production factory. But for that, this is kind of like partially I'm going to be sending this video to people in the industry. So I'm kind of sending out requests for partnerships for companies that do these things that, are specialized in kind of manufacturing. We'll talk about that, a couple different steps. In the US, in Southern California, maybe near Austin, Texas. I don't know where this this first seed is going to be planted, but this is it, right? So we are actively seeking a strategic partners to help automate the production of Millennial One. So that's kind of our first step. Like, let's say we have the computer designed and we have it built by hand. Well, then all we have to do is the next step is like sort of scaling up. And I mean, obviously the more people that catch on, it's like, even in the US, there's 300 million people. So even if we just got 1% of that, total market share, it's a few million people. So, there's an opportunity here. And obviously, to be able to export this around the world would be great. Although now these tariffs are kind of scaring me. So the computer case is going to be our kind of proprietary technology. That's going to be what separates us from the industry. So this involves precision metal manufacturing, custom production, and this could actually be done outside of our assembly automated factory. This could be a different company. This could be, a different manufacturing plant, and it could just be shipped to us, and then later we could sort of like kind of build this as like the front end or the first piece, because obviously these need to be built before we start installing them with computer components, right? This is our product, is this shell. So then, later we can sort of learn from that and then build our own fabrication lab that kind of, builds the shell, and then all the computer components are put inside. So we need to find somebody who is going to be able to make these shells and who wants to grow with us. You know what I mean? Like this isn't just like, hey, make us a couple gaming shells and, we'll order 10 more next month. This is like, how do we work with a company that does custom fabrication, metal manufacturing right now to create this case, but also who wants to grow into a, part of this, either like a part of this company or wants to grow alongside. We have to figure out what that relationship is, but basically that's what's going on. We want to, if you're watching this video and you're that computer case, this is what it's for. So if I'm kind of sending you this video and you're in the computer case industry, this is the project that I need a computer case for. But it's bigger than that. It's not just a computer case. It's about bringing back manufacturing to America. It's about building new cities. It's about making America great again. It's about making America build again and making America smart again and building a technical institute. So you really take this seriously. You're not just building a case. You're building a new country. We all are. And it's time to get to work. Computer hardware, existing components, industry standards. So we're partnering with leading component manufacturers. Everything: chips, motherboards, RAM, storage, power, supply, everything. So yes, they're all going to be made in China or South Korea or, another country, Japan. The point is that slowly but surely, this computer, because the public is actually purchasing it, we get to make all the decisions. So we have the most power in this relationship. We get to decide what parts we use. We get to decide how much it costs. We get to interact with the user. We get to define what this computer relationship is with the public, and we get to define what the relationship is with all the different computer manufacturing companies, and we get to expand production in the US. So this is kind of like, we need this product in order to make all of the rest of it work, because this is the part where people put money in, right? They're investing in the project by buying a computer. Yeah, they're just buying a computer for their home, but really they're investing in the project, right? So quality control operating system check, computing testing. So in addition to this computer being kind of like ready to go, it's going to be checked. Obviously, it's going to be, whatever, and then it's reset, and then it's shipped to you. So it's ready out of the box. And we're going to get to the operating system in a bit, because I have ideas about this. We're going to be creating our own computer. We're going to be working with an open source operating system, and we'll get in. That's not really about, producing this thing, but that's just sort of like what we're going to be doing later. Once we have this computer on the market and people are actually using it, and we're building this tech ecosystem that I keep talking about, then we'll sort of like roll out our own operating system, which will be great, right? So it's going to be super user friendly right out of the box. Open it. It's a beautiful computer. Obviously, it's going to already have an AI assistant built into it, or, it's going to have a regular operating system built into it. But if we use an existing operating system that everybody already knows, you won't have to relearn how to use this product. You can just jump in. You can run a familiar operating system. I feel like you know what I'm talking about. And then later, we can introduce our own operating system, which you can choose to be a part of, or you can probably just run that old so this will be multifunctional, but the operating system allows you to create this community, and that's going to be essential for the learning. So the Millennial One is designed to be ready out of the box, and it's going to be super slick, and it's going to help us to build this complete system. So when people say computer, we're literally only talking about the chip, motherboard, RAM, storage, and then electricity. That is what a computer is, right? The case it's in, it's kind of that's the computer. The monitor, that's not the computer anymore. The speakers, that's not a computer. You know what I mean? So these are other components, attachments that we will be expanding into once we get the core down, which is that American-made computer. Obviously, it needs to have all of these other attachments. I'm calling components, for the sake of this presentation and me, I'm calling components things that are inside the computer, and attachments things that are outside of the shell. So that's what these attachments are. A mouse, right? Now, the first step is we don't do anything, right? We just make these computers. The second step is we partner with people who make keyboards, monitors, and mice to make our keyboards, monitors, and mices, right? That's step 2, but that's done overseas. Step 3 would be to create those production facilities on US soil and have everything made by us. Now that we have the full computer and the monitor and the screen and everything, now we're talking about a product line. We're going to get into laptops. We're going to get into tablets. We're going to get into cell phones, smartphones, right? Everything. Maybe speakers, maybe other things, maybe. So this computer will allow us to do that, right? The whole technology ecosystem of electronic devices that need to work together based on a operating system. So, national security, the American supply chain, tech infrastructure. The Millennial One is designed to strengthen the American supply chain by prioritizing domestically made parts at every stage of production. So, that's the point, right? We've set out to domestically produce computer components and bring manufacturing back to the US. And the way we did that is we said, okay, we're going to create this super cool product that everyone can buy. Everyone can buy a computer. And we're going to make all the parts in America eventually. And we're going to start now, but as you buy it, you will give us the resources to build out that infrastructure. Do you see what I'm saying? Like the goal was to create manufacturing in America. And that will be achieved by the device. So this company is not really about building computers. It's about building America. It's about making America great again. So if you are in tech, if you are in manufacturing, if you are in politics, if you are in government, if you are in any of these fields, related fields, if you're in media, reach out to me. I need more people to understand what this thing is and to come in and to start building this. It's a research tool. So this is the fun part. It's an educational product, a research tool to reverse engineer by the students. So now we can use this same product to teach kids how computers work. It's got an open face. They can look into it. They can replace parts. They can pull something off. They can break it open. They can throw it under a microscope. Like this is going to be like how the students, sorry, I say kids, I meant students. This is going to be how students learn in America how to re-engineer these computer parts to then, deliver that technology. And maybe it's super generic technology that's already out there. We just have to start making the parts in the US. So, maybe there's less to learn on, but the CPUs, these chips they're very intricate and they're very advanced. And we could hypothetically, I don't want to say reverse engineer and steal the technology, but we gotta learn from what's going on here so we can make these things in the US, right? So it's more than just a computer. It's a hands-on research tool. So this will allow us to expand tech manufacturing in the US. This will also allow us to expand tech education in the US. One device did it all. That's why this is so important. Software design, operating system, application ecosystem, right? So DreamCloud, again, another company which is in the Millennial Project, will be expanding into software development, creating an easy-to-use operating system. Now, this OS is going to obviously have an app store, and this app store is going to be filled with free apps that are designed by the students of the university. And if they're paid apps, they're going to be designed and kind of licensed by companies that are taking technology from the university, or just like, to put it this way, whatever you're producing within this community, a portion of it is going to go back to feed Millennial One and Millennial Technical Institute and the whole process, so that you will know that, yes, you are paying $1 per app, or you are paying some small fee, but it's not just some company that's going to be like giving money to their shareholders. This money is going to go back into the system. So I'm trying to build ecosystems. This is a tech ecosystem. Obviously, if we have these products and people love them and we're selling a ton of them, we're going to have to create retail locations so we can get into these communities and reach people and create that dialogue about computers and repair things and work on them and, have educational, seminars once in a while and invite people to come in and learn about technology and obviously sell them computers and explain how they work. So eventually we'll have these little DreamCloud stores, selling electronics. Now, this all ties into Millennial City, right? So imagine that this little computer is a seed, right? We are going to take this little company, this little product, this little idea, this little seed, and we're going to go to some area that has manufacturing for the shells, because that's obviously the closest thing we need to get next to right now is somebody who fabricates the shells, so we can just start to build that assembly line between the different production facilities. So once we have that could be in San Diego, that could be in Santa Ana, that could be in LA, that could be in Austin, that could be, that could be in several locations that work for now inside of an existing city, because you can't just start by building your own city from scratch, right? So then we have a company, we are producing a product, and we are growing, and people are sort of finding out about us. This computer, in a way, is going to let everybody know about this whole project. So it's going to be our advertising mechanism that this is about, reimagining what America could become through a product. So if you believe in that, buy the product, right? It's super American what I'm doing. So now that little seed we're going to put in like a pot, right? And that pot is going to be an existing city. And then once that seed grows into a little plant, which is going to be our company, DreamCloud, then we'll be able to take it out and plant it in the ground, which will be the equivalent of building this city from scratch. And I think what we should do is keep the original production facility, and then we build kind of like our second factory, bigger, obviously expansive, build a bigger second factory. And then within that second factory, that's when you start building the research institute. And that's when you start building this Millennial City, and then inviting other companies to kind of attach onto it. So that's the long-term goal. So thank you, DreamCloud. info@dreamcloudclub.org. Now, the next step is really reaching out. If you are a computer manufacturing company and I have sent you this video and you are, it's probably going to be the people who create these computer shells. That's kind of who I'm contacting right now. This is what it's all about. This is what you're getting into. So, obviously, yeah, you could just make our shells for a while, and then when we grow, we just move on. And that could be a good relationship too. But I would like to learn how to make these things. I would like to be shown and assisted in the process of expanding that production capacity at our own plant. So, DreamCloud, thank you for being a part of this presentation. Thank you for coming to understand what this little project is. Yeah, so this is it. The Millennial One desktop computer. And in the future, like I said, these shells will be customizable, or the screens will be customizable. And, we'll throw different colors on there, or patterns, or, you could put stickers on it. You could put maybe an LED display. So it just kind of has like a image of something, or a pattern, or just a color. It's going to be great. And this is going to help us expand domestic manufacturing of tech. So this is very important. And yeah, it's going to be exciting. So if you're into it, reach out, and let's get to work. Thank you.